Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Eugen. In this one I'm super excited to have a first look at the 43rd Wessex Infantry, a new British division available in the upcoming Nemesis DLC, Hell's Highway. As a disclaimer, Eugen has given me free access to the DLC, so a big thanks to them. Also, please remember that this is an early preview and what you see may be subject to change. If you'd like to read the description on the right hand side, feel free to pause the video and take a look. We're going to be jumping straight on in. So as usual, we'll go through all of the units that are available and we'll put together a quick deck starting in the Recon tab. And the first unit we're going to be seeing is a Dutch unit. So there are quite a few Dutch units in this division. It's not the first division to have a Dutch unit. I believe the SSB has a Spitfire that's Dutch, but this division certainly has more. We have a Humber LRC Mark III here. Relatively nice armoured recon for 5 points, to be honest. You get 5 in A at 1 veterancy. Then we have our classic 2-man British Reconnaissance squad. They can be brought in with a 2-inch carrier, an MMG carrier, universal carrier, Willys MMG, and the standard Willys truck. Classic availability of 4, 8, and 12 across A, B, and C. Then we have the Kenners. These guys are a Dutch 2-man recon squad. Basically the same stats as the British one. They use the same weapons too, but they have different transports. They can be brought in with the Lynx. And the Lynx is another nice 5-point recon car to have because it is armoured. It's actually better armoured than the Humber. So it's just useful for putting in situations where you're only up against infantry, like like light cover and stuff like that. Then we have the Assault Troop. This is an 8-man recon squad with Piat Bren. They have exceptional stealth, which is nice, radio recon. They don't really have like a crazy amount of firepower, but for 20 points, this is a really nice squad. Then we have the BS Kids. These guys are a Molotov recon unit. The availability on these 5, 10, 15. They get pretty interesting machine gun. Their loadout, again, isn't really anything special. It's a bit worse than the British Assault Troop, but the fact they have the Molotov at close range could be pretty handy. So it's a nice sort of combination if you were to bring both. The availability for these guys, the Assault Troop, was only 6 in A, by the way, though, so do bear that in mind. Then for the British, we have the Humber Mark IV, 5 in A, 9 in B. These have the 37mm gun, which has a 7 round per minute rate of fire, which is absolutely shocking. And the HE shell barely does any damage. So I'm not a massive fan of the Humber for Mark IV at all. Then we have our 4-man scout squads. The British ones have 2 Stens, 2 Lee Enfields. They can be brought in with the universal carrier or the Willys Bedford CMP. 5, 10, 15 on availability. And then there's sniper squads available. 3 in A, 6 in B, 12 in C. Can be brought in with all of the different universal carriers and the Willys MMG, but otherwise nothing really too special there. But the combination of the Assault Troop and the BS Kids in Phase A could be kind of interesting. Right, moving on to the Infantry tab, we have our Defence Group. 3 Lee Enfield, 2 Brens, can be brought in with the White Truck, Bedford or CMP. You can get 9 in Phase A with 1 vet. Then we have the Field Engineers. 9, 18, 27 availability. Can be brought in with the Willys and Bedford. The availability on the Willys truck is quite nice, so there's no reason really not to do that, to make sure we get to the front line nice and quick. Then we have, oh gosh, this is a nasty Dutch word, isn't it? Gevechtgroep. Hopefully I got that right. I'm not sure what the beginning is. I assume it's like motorized. They have 3 Sten, 6 Lee Enfields, Piat Bren, 10-man squad, come in with the CMP in either A or B. I mean, at close range, they're going to be better than a lot of squads because they have the extra submachine guns, but the Sten, like its 40% accuracy, really makes it lose out to basically every other SMG. So If you have an even amount of SMGs on the enemy squad, you lose. I think even if you had only like 2 enemy SMGs, you might still lose. Yeah, it's just a 10-man squad with a Piat at the end of the day. And moving on to motorized rifle, 8-man squad with the Piat. Do they get any half tracks? They do. They get the M5 half track. 12 of those available. Then we have the rifles, your standard rifles, 12 available in A, 24 in B, 36 in C. Standard 10-man squad with no AT capability. So 2 Stens, 7 Lianfields, and the Bren. Nothing special really, unfortunately. Then we have the Polish units that are joining this. This is the paratrooper leader, Battlegroup. I don't know if I pronounced that anywhere near correct, but we gave it a good go. 2 Stens, 2 MP40s, and Gammon bombs. And they get radio trait as well. Then we have the Descent de Morve. These guys are a 10-man flamer squad. They do get shock trait and raider trait. So they have very good stealth because of the raider trait. Shock trait means that they're going to do better at close combat. And since they have the flamethrower, that's pretty handy. And 4 Stens, so multiple submachine guns. But only available in Phase C at 2 vet. Is that the same for the leader? Yeah. 9 in Phase C at 2 vet. Then we have more Dutch units. This is the Dutch leader with 3 Stens, Bren, and smoke grenade. Considering they get radio as well, I'm not like against this loadout at all. Like having smoke grenades on leaders is something I always like. Then we have the Mariners. These guys are a fanatical 10-man squad with 4 Stens, 4 Lianfields, and 2 Bren. Not often you see a fanatical unit with Commonwealth weapons. So yeah, it could be pretty decent for closer range engagements, particularly in like light to heavy forest engagements. Then we have standard rifle leader, 3, 6, and 9 availability throughout the phases. 2 Stens, 2 Lianfield Piat can be brought in with the carrier command if they want to. Then we have your standard rifle with Piat, which is the 8 Lianfield, 2 Bren Piat setup. 9, 18, 27 availability on those, Bedford CMP as their transport. Next up, the Battlegroup. These guys are your classic paratroopers, and they actually have a very nice loadout. So 3 Stens, 5 Lianfields, MG42, and a Lianfield. 10 strength squad with raider trait, which does give them that very good stealth. 18 available in C at 1 vet. This is a pretty nice unit to help you out in the late game. Then we have the same squad with the Piat. The Battlegroup, I mean, but they actually swap out their MG42 and sniper for 2 Brens and a Piat. Can't help but think that's a terrible trade. They still cost the same amount as well. Like this squad for 25 points with the MG42 and Lianfield is actually insane. Amazing value. Whereas these guys, not so sure. I guess it's kind of the same as a rifle with Piat. You just get 2 submachine guns instead of 2 Lianfields. And the raider trait. For Phase C, 18 available, 1 bet. Alright, moving on to the tank tab. Tank tab's pretty simple. We have 2 sets of Honey Stewarts, which can come in 8 in A, 12 in B. We've got the Sherman 3 Leader, 2 in A, 4 in B, 6 in C. The classic 75mm gun. Then Sherman 3, which is not a leader, 5, 10, 15 availability on these. Generally, you want to upvet your Shermans if you're going to bring them. And then we have the Fireflies, 2 cards of those available in A, 3, 6, and 9, so in between B and C there. It's not a terrible tank tab, I just think you struggle maybe for availability on the tanks, on the like Fireflies more specifically. Like you're going to have plenty of infantry support tanks, but the Fireflies are in short supply because you're probably going to need to take them in Phase A if you don't have too much to deal with stuff in the anti-tank tab. Although I say that, the anti-tank tab is full of 17-pounders, so you might be alright. Alright, moving on to the support tab. This is also a pretty small one. 2-inch mortars available. Vickers HMG squads available. Bedford supply truck. Commander on foot. Commander in the Dingo. And the commander in the Sherman 3. Alright, moving on to the anti-tank tab. We have the Piats squads available. They can be brought in 6 in A, 12 in B, 18 in C. We've got Dutch 6-pounders, which don't get any APCR. So only the 115mm of penetration at 1,500 meter range. Still 12 round per minute rate of fire. And then the standard British 6-pounder, which gets the APCR rounds. Bear in mind, APCR rounds can only be used at 1,000 meter range, but they are still very useful to have. And then there's the 17-pounder, which is certainly going to be necessary alongside the Fireflies. So 2 in A, 4 in B, 6 in C. Then we have the AA tab. This is a very limited tab. I mean, you basically just have a Crusader AA card and then Bofors cards. I mean, the activation point cost is not too bad, so you're going to have plenty of AA, to be honest, but yeah, nothing too special in here. Right, moving on to the artillery tab. Spotters, 2-man recon with radio. Get the Lanchester submachine gun, 3 in A, 6 in B. Then there's the artillery commander, which can increase the veterancy of nearby artillery whilst also decreasing dispersion of nearby artillery. Pretty handy to have. Doesn't work on mortars, bear in mind. So you'd have to pair them with the 25-pounder or the Sexton. But speaking of mortars, 81mm mortar, 4, 8, 12 availability. They are not radio mortars, unfortunately. Same with the 107, it's not radio. 4 available in A, 8 available in B. Then we have 6 cards. 6 cards of 25-pounders. They can be brought in with supply trucks if you wanted to. But otherwise, 3 available in A, 6 in B, and 12 in C. And then there's a card of Sextons. 2 available in A, 4 in B, and 6 in C. Right, moving on to the air tab. We have ourselves the Recon Spitfire Mark 11. 2 available in A, 4 in B, and 8 in C. You can see they fly at 605 kilometers per hour. They have high optics and very good agility. The agility is generally what keeps these alive. Then there's some Dutch Mitchell II bombers. I like that they have the Dutch decals on them. That's pretty cool. Nice touch. These are equipped with 12 113 kilogram bombs. 1 available in A, 2 in B, and 4 in C. Then we have a P-51 of the Americans. 4 available in A, 6 in B, 8 in C. For the Spitfire, we have 4 150mm RP3 rockets. That's an interesting loadout for a Spitfire. 3 available in A, 4 in B, 6 in C. Could be pretty useful, because after firing those rockets, it's still going to be pretty good at the air-to-air engagement. Then we have the Dutch Spitfire. I believe this is the one that's already available in the first SSB. The Mark 14, which comes with the 5-blade prop. Very nice aircraft. Very nice aircraft indeed. One of my more favourite aircraft of the Spitfire variant. So 4, 6 and 8 availability, which means you can probably upvet these quite nicely. Which you probably should. 680 km/h speed on those. P51D5 comes with two 227 kilogram bombs. Really nice fast bomber. Good in the early game, terrible in the late game because they get taken out of the sky very quickly, even by like a single AA unit. Then there's the P47D, which comes with a very nice payload. One 227 kilogram bomb, two 454 kilogram bombs. That is very, very nice. And they still have the 850 cows to boot. So one available in A, two in B, and four in C. Late game, these could be an absolute menace. Then we have the Thunderbolt with the 10 HVAR Mark II anti-tank rockets, which are pretty nice. When you have an anti-tank plane with a lot of rockets, you have a much greater chance of killing the thing you're firing at. So you need to land, what, 4 rockets on target in order to get a kill on basically any tank. Not too bad. One available in A, 2 in B, 4 in C. Any nice shiny new defenses? No, unfortunately not. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and put together a quick deck. I think what we're going to do is we'll bring in the assault troop in A alongside some of these BS skids. And then I'm going to do BS skids in phase B because the Molotov can be handy. And I don't think we have like a crazy amount of close range infantry in the infantry tab. I'd be tempted to bring the Humber LRC, but I think we'll come back to that. Oh, I didn't point out the assault engineers because I accidentally added them. The assault engineers, 6 in A, 12 in B. And they have shock. That's actually a very good squad. So definitely don't miss out on those. And that is another close range infantry squad that you can make use of. So what I'm going to do, I think, is we'll definitely have, of course, a couple of Spadochronija. Like these guys are just too good not to bring. Will I need AT on them? Probably not. We're going to bring my assault engineers in phase A. We'll do CMP trucks where we can, because they're faster than the Bedford. Leader-wise, what do I want to do? I think the Dutch leader is fine. Do I want to bring in these Dutch troops? Alongside the assault engineers, they could be handy, I suppose. And we'll bring in the fanatical Dutch units as well. So we'll have Piats, we'll have flamethrowers in phase A with the Dutch leader. We've got the Polish in the late game. I don't think I necessarily want to bring in the Dutch leader. But we do want to make sure we bring in the Desantstemovi. These guys are going to be pretty great. This is like late game infantry is just fantastic. The trouble is getting there, I think, for this division. I'm going to go phase B, motorized rifles upvetted in M5 half-tracks. And then I'm thinking we probably need another unit for phase A, but in phase B I think this is enough. Because I can't bring either of those in B. There's nothing else I'd really want to bring in B apart from maybe rifles of Piat. I think I'm just going to maybe bring rifles of Piat in A. And that should be enough. Okay, for Fireflies, upvetted A, upvetted in B. Oh, maybe we push it to C. Kind of hard. Like, I feel like when I don't have Fireflies in phase A, there's not really much of a chance to like open up the map early on. So you need to have it early. But whether or not I put the Fireflies into phase C or not, I don't know. Probably not. I think we keep them in B. And then we'll do leader Shermans. I'm going to bring in a card of Honey Stewarts. Like early on, the Honey Stewarts are going to be really, really handy. Alright, support tab. What commander do we want to bring? I think Sherman 5 commander could be pretty nice. Although you're paying an extra 40 points for that privilege. It's very nice to have. I think we'll do it. And then supply is really going to depend on my artillery, so we'll come back to that. Right, in the early game, definitely going to be doing 2 17-pounders. Late game, maybe I'll just go for 6, but in phase B we'll have the 2 vet ones there ready to go. Might grab some 6-pounders. We'll go with up-vetted Dutch ones because you get more availability. Right, for anti-air, Crusader AAs are pretty nice to have. I'm thinking of bringing them in A. And we'll do just 2 cards of both as well. Bringing them in the Bedfords. Could be enough. Artillery, we can bring the Sextons. I'll bring the Sextons in early. And then I think we'll just bring in some 17 or 25-pounders later on. Maybe with supply. We'll do phase A supply. Maybe we do phase B supply. And I just bring these in like so. We can do an artillery commander maybe, but let's just do the air tab quick. These Spitfires, definitely worth investing in. And then it's pretty much just P-47s. Kind of tempted to try out the Spitfires in A though. And then maybe, just maybe, we do something like this, where we have like phase B, phase C. So we have plenty of Thunderbolts to help win the day. It's actually going to work out perfectly if I add the artillery leader, which I'll do in probably A. Yeah. We'll bring them in the CMP truck. Okay, and there you have it. 43rd Wessex Infantry. Very nice. So I'm kind of excited to see how the infantry work in this division. A lot of the other units that I'm utilizing are units that we've seen before. Oh, one thing I do need to do is make sure that this is in A. We do need the 17-pounders in A. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like, if you can get to phase C, how dominant the Polish infantry will be. And then how much of a reliance on these Fireflies is going to be. Because you do, of course, have the P-47s that, in abundance, could absolutely dominate in the late game. This is a very interesting division. I like the fact that it's got different nations in it as well. You know, it's not just like one nation. You know, we've got the Dutch, the British, Polish. Very cool. And even Americans if you include the aircraft. Cool. Well, let me know what you think of the 43rd Wessex Infantry in the comments, and if you're excited for the Hell's Highway Nemesis DLC. Should be coming soon, but that's all for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.